Alrighty guys, today you're going to be starting a plant taxonomy project, and we're going to be doing two projects that go along with plant taxonomy before we move on from the topic altogether. So for the first one, I'm trying to make it a little bit easier because the second one is a little more in depth. You're going to pick a plant, and you can pick any plant you want. You can pick something that everyone knows about, like a rose or an apple tree, or you could go crazy and pick something that no one knows about, that no one's ever heard of. You could just do a random Google search for strange plants and pick one off the list. I have it broken down into different parts for what you're going to be doing with your plant taxonomy. You're going to create either a Google Doc or a Word document, and you're going to title it with the common name of your plant. So this is what most people would talk to you about the plant would say. Like they would call a rose. They're not going to call it by its scientific name. So the common name is the name that everyone knows it by. The first section of your paper will be titled Photos, and you're going to find one or two good photos of a plant, and you're going to put them under this section. The second section of your document will be titled General Description. You're going to give a general description and facts about your plant, like where does it live, how big or how heavy can it be, how does it reproduce, along with any other interesting facts that you find. 1 to 3 paragraphs are good. Remember, don't copy and paste information. You want to use your own words. You don't want to get stuck on plagiarism, which you've probably learned about multiple times in your English classes. You want to cite any websites you've used to get your information at the bottom of the page under the last section, which is titled Sources. The next section will be titled Plant Taxonomy. So, using sources from the internet, you'll go through the 7 levels of classification for your plant, from kingdom all the way to species, and you're going to name each level, and you're going to give a brief description of what types of plants are there or what it means to be in that level. Some plants might have sub-levels, and you want to include these as well. Remember to cite your sources at the bottom of the page. So all that is you're going into your web browser, you're clicking copy, paste, and putting it down at the bottom for the site, the source. The next section will be titled The Scientific Name. You're going to write the scientific name of your plant. Remember, the scientific name of anything is comprised of the last 2 levels of classification, and be sure to put it in the proper format. If you don't know what that format is, you can always go back into the notes that we did on taxonomy yesterday and get it there. Here's the grading rubric. As you can see, I have the sections all listed out for you. There are 6 of them, and you're going to get 5 points for writing the title correctly, making sure that it stands out. You can change the font, you can change the color as well. Just make sure that it is legible or that I can read it. Don't use symbols instead of letters. Put 1 or 2 photos that clearly show the plant. You're going to give a clear description and reflection of interesting facts about the plant. Every level and sub-level of classification is clear and has a description of what the level means. The scientific name is written correctly and it stands out. And all sources are used. They're indicated as well as a link to them. So I even made up a little example so that you can kind of see what I mean. Now obviously you cannot use a trumpet vine since that's what I used on mine. But here are some photos of what a trumpet vine looks like. I have a kind of a farther back picture. You can see it's kind of crazy. It looks really dense. And then this is up close what the flowers look like. My general description was only 2 paragraphs. Okay, and I have it labeled here. I also labeled my photos. And as you can see, I changed the color of my trumpet vine title. The trumpet vine, also known as the cowwitch vine, the plant is native to eastern United States, but has been known to grow in other areas of the world. The colors of the flowers can be various shades of red and yellow, and selective breeding can lead to even more colors. The flowers are also very attractive to hummingbirds who like to drink the nectar inside. The flowers themselves have very little odor, so they don't smell like anything. Other species of small birds like to nest in the dense foliage inside the plant. The trumpet vine acts like an ivy species and attaches itself around anything close to it, like trees, fences, walkways. If you left a car there for a while, it would attach itself to that too. It can grow from 30 to 40 feet high and can spread out in multiple directions. It's also able to survive droughts and dry areas, making it a very popular plant to have in a dry and arid region. Another reason that this plant is a popular choice is its resistance to diseases and parasites. If I move on down, here's my taxonomy. So I started with kingdom. It's in the Plantae kingdom, and I have a brief description of what it means. So plants are all the multicellular organisms that make their own food through photosynthesis. And when I said subgroups up there, this is what I mean by a subgroup. Here's a clade, and then there's another clade of angiosperms, a clade of eudiocots, a clade of astrids, all the way before we get to order. We have all these clades. And there's the family, and here's the species. C. radians. Trumpet vine is also known as a trumpet creeper. And here is the scientific name, which is the Campus radicans, and these are my sources, and I even labeled what links go specifically with each section, which is something that you would want to do as well. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll talk to you later.